Hello, welcome to the Delta Source Podcast, your number one source for rapid astromech droid replacements. Today we're talking about Star Wars The Clone Wars, Episode 6, The Downfall of a Droid, and how its opening quote relates to the content of the episode. We've got Good Call Paul here, and
that's
Mr.
right.
Legitimacy, and we're gonna have a good time.
So, gather around the campfire, if you will.
Yeah.
Gather around the asteroid field.
So, our
So,
opening quote for this episode is, "Trust in your friends, and they'll have reason to trust in you." And our official episode description is, R2-D2 is lost during a fierce space battle, and Anakin, along with Ahsoka and a replacement droid, R3-S6, must find him before the Separatists discover the Jedi military secrets locked in his memory banks. Surely a dire mission to rescue a friend in need.
yes, indeed. Hopefully, this friend will have a reason to trust you.
Yeah.
Hopefully, or will have a reason to trust Anakin. And maybe they shouldn't trust Goldie particularly.
Yeah.
I don't know. That guy seems kind of sus.
Yeah, because spoilers, he's a double agent.
Yeah, in case you couldn't tell, he's definitely he's not just that bad at his job, guys. There's malice involved with that one.
So,
Yeah.
tell me your initial thoughts about relating to the quote, "Trust in your friends and
Yes.
they'll have reason to trust in you."
Well, I just wanted to say, I think it's R3-S6. I think that was his
Yeah.
designation. Goldie. They don't trust him, or rather, Anakin doesn't. Ahsoka
Yeah.
thinks he's great, but Anakin doesn't trust him at all. And Anakin has good reason not to trust him, obviously, and he's not really a friend.
Yeah.
R2, on the other hand, is a friend of his, and he.
Yes.
I guess the main reason why he doesn't like Goldie so much is because R2's not just a droid to him. R2's a
Mhm.
companion at this point, which is how, people in Star Wars who treat droids like they are just disposable assets with no personality tend to be the bad guys.
Yeah.
Clearly, and people who treat droids like their friends tend to be portrayed more on the heroic side of
Yeah.
the equation. I mean, Han's kind of a jerk to C-3PO, but, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So I think that R2 and Anakin's bond here is the main thing that relates to the quote, because there's plenty of people in Star Wars who probably like, I lost my droid, I guess I'll get a new one.
Yeah.
Admittedly, they can't
Obi-Wan
do
even encourages
Yeah.
him to do as much.
Right, it says go ahead, get yourself another better droid. R2's it's kind of old anyway.
Just implying
but-
they're readily available. You can replace them at any time.
Exactly. It's just an astromech droid. We got hundreds of them, thousands probably. So I would say the bond between a man and his droid is the main thing relating to trust, because
Yeah.
Anakin's never going to leave R2 behind, or
Oh, yeah.
anyone else really. It's one of his main traits, and honestly, kind of used against him later.
Mhm. He'll
by-
never leave R2 behind until he kills Anakin Skywalker and is no
Well, he
more.
brought R2 along. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's my thought on that anyway.
I agree. It's definitely, highly related to the droids. Clearly the entire predicament of the episode is based because of Anakin and R2's unfailing trust in each other.
Yeah.
And so then, furthermore, trying to orient my thoughts around the relationship with Goldie, I feel like the quote really can't relate very straightforwardly, because Goldie is not trying to build trust with anyone there.
Or he's not their friend. Really.
Yeah, and he's not seeking. Yeah, he's not trying to establish a mutual relationship. The most that he could be really seeking trust from them is to trust that he is only incompetent and not malicious,
Right.
which he kind of does a good job of.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, whoops, silly me, and he looks like he feels bad about it too.
Yeah.
Which he's got Ahsoka going, but Ahsoka's
So-
a gullible young child at this point. So
With R2 not being present in most of the episode, I also took some time to examine the trust bond between Anakin and Ahsoka and how it has developed at this
okay.
point. Still early in
Sure.
the series, but they've had some adventures under their belt at this point.
yeah,
So as far as trust going both ways between them. They do both trust each other. Anakin doesn't totally trust all of Ahsoka's ideas yet because she throws out a few suggestions in the
Yeah.
episode that he does not go with.
And that's
and
fair,
then-
you know.
Yeah, it is fair.
He's a little
Because he's
inexperienced
got
still,
the
but-
battlefield experience. But
Right.
Anakin is, asking Ahsoka to trust in his battle plan for repelling the separatist cruisers coming through the asteroid field.
With the yes, the ATTEs on the asteroids, an iconic scene that I'd forgotten was this
Yes.
early in the series, to be
Me
honest. 'Cause This
too.
one shows up in YouTube compilations and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
It's a cool part. I mean, you know.
And to ask that trust from Ahsoka in the battle plan, he offers trust to her by allowing her to command the clone forces while he's out in his fighter, and
Mhm.
they pull it off really well.
Their trust in each other is, beneficial.
Anakin also does trust Ahsoka when they're on the salvage vessel, and she insists that R2 is not aboard, and so he kind of cools down from almost threatening the
The Trandoshan guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He does get pretty PO'd at.
Mhm.
But then turns out Ahsoka's wrong about that. Maybe he
Yeah.
shouldn't have.
yeah. And since Ahsoka also really wants to trust Goldie, Anakin once again trusts Ahsoka whenever she insists that Anakin should give Goldie another chance because he's ready to just not mess with Goldie anymore. But then he does it anyway at Ahsoka's behest because he trusts her.
Yeah, so kind of subverting the quote a little bit there. To be honest. Yeah.
And then finally, with the rescue at the end, Anakin puts his full trust in Ahsoka to, help rescue him from that situation. So that was all of my thoughts about the trust dynamic there.
Okay, well, fair enough. It definitely, the quote I'd say mostly relates to Anakin and R2, and Anakin and Ahsoka to a certain extent, because there is quite a bit of it getting turned on its head as well, as you mentioned, of maybe don't always trust in your friends, because although it doesn't say trust in your friends, they'll never lead you wrong. You can trust someone who makes a bad decision based off of their own lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Not due to malice, which is in Ahsoka's case, obviously the case.
Yeah, and I don't even knowing what happens with Goldie, I don't see this episode as trying to tell us that Anakin is wrong to trust Ahsoka. I think
Right.
that's still a good thing.
Yeah, maybe Anakin's wrong to threaten people quite so quickly.
yeah, maybe a little bit.
I mean, yeah, this guy's a bad guy, but you can try to be a little more tactful or mind trick him or something. I don't know. Like,
and he is pretty slick at the beginning with of that interaction where he's like, "Hey, I want to buy a droid. Let's see how many credits I have. Are you sure you don't have an R2?"
I really would like an
Yeah.
R2. Yeah.
So I have two more things I want to talk about.
Okay. Fire away.
First, really quick, my favorite line from this episode during the skirmish with the separatist ships, Ahsoka says, "We're not gonna last a Minok minute out here." I need to start timing things in Minok minutes.
Yeah, it'll just be a Minok minute there, bud.
And I have a side note about the CIS plan with Goldie, which I guess, I'll have more complete thoughts about it once we watch the next episode and see how it all pans out. But I just wonder how sound this plan is to use a spy astromech to sabotage Republic missions. Because within this episode where Obi-Wan implies you can get a new astromech at any time, I think most military personnel, if they were assigned Goldie, they would immediately send him for repairs or replacement the first time he sabotaged anything, even if they didn't know it was sabotage.
That's true, because there's no reason to use a defective droid.
Yeah. So they really got lucky that Goldie ended up assigned to a couple of sentimental schmucks like Anakin and Ahsoka.
Yeah, maybe treating a droid like a friend isn't always the best idea. Turns out, no, that's a good point though. Because if it wound up with, like, I don't know, Admiral Yularen or something, he'd have been like, "This droid sucks. I want another one."
Yeah.
And that would have been that,
Or like Kit Fisto or Plo Koon. Would they mess around with a defective droid? I don't know.
Or Obi-Wan. Like, Obi-Wan doesn't even like droids to begin with.
Yeah.
If his droid made a mistake, he'd be like, "I'm not even going to use droids anymore." So Yeah, I definitely see what you mean by that. This is a risky. I mean, I guess it's not a huge expenditure to be fair, because they're readily available if you want to program. And who knows? There might be other astromech droids
true.
that they've hacked, and there just could be dozens of them that have infiltrated the fleet just to see if they get lucky.
Yeah, actually, thinking about it that way, if it was sort of a larger problem of a network of astromech spies, that would actually be kind of a brilliant plan. But just throwing one out to see if it does anything,
Yeah, it's not really gonna.
I just gotta wonder.
Best case scenario. Well, this was the best case scenario because you almost got a couple of very important Jedi killed.
Yeah.
But hypothetically, barring extreme luck, and in my experience, there's no such thing as luck. Barring that, odds are likely the best you're going to get is maybe somebody's hyperjump will be delayed by a little bit, and then they'll send the droid in for repairs, and that'll be that. Which, well, we never see anything else about other rogue astromechs in this series, I don't think, or in any of the other like books or comics or video games or TV series.
Just the few pieces of media out there of Clone Wars.
Clone Wars is basically the World War II of Star Wars, and it has been covered from every angle by every person for the last, I don't know, quite a while. But on the other hand, there's stuff we don't know about it. It's possible it happened and we just didn't see it.
Yep. And that's the beauty of Star Wars, is you can always just cram another story in there.
True.
The beauty and the downfall. But
yeah, that's true. Because hey, look, what if we told a story about this? I don't. Off the top of my head, I have a hard time thinking of.
We all know the examples that we don't like in our hearts.
Maybe we shouldn't have crammed that one in there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all we got for you this time, folks. This has been Delta Source Podcast, your #1 source for trading in an astromech for a C-14.
Yeah.
May the Force be with you.